Hi all, in this video let us understand the debugging capabilities in Amazon EKS Auto Mode. Okay, so there are many options to debug workloads in Amazon EKS Auto Mode. For example, the first one is getting the EC2 console output from the command line. Okay, so this is one of my node in the cluster. So I'm running the EC2 get console output instant ID and output format is text and outputting that to a file. Okay, so let me go to the console. Let me run one of the command get node. So one of the node is this I hyphen ending with 3695. Okay, now let me run this command. This output is quite huge, so that's the reason I'm just piping it to a file. Okay, so if I go to this file EC2 console full text, right? So you can see a lot of data from the top to bottom. So you can see the container D related data and the system D process running in the node, right? So you see the EKS node monitoring agent is running, Qproxy is running, core DNS and AWS Kubernetes agent, IPAMD, pod identity agent, core DNS server. So all of these are running as a system D process, okay? And it's also running some containers on the node. So this is a very useful data. Even the network policy agent is also running because we have enabled this using the config map earlier. Now on the CPU utilization also you can see the process ID and the various process running in the system. Similarly, you can see the memory utilization data, the disk utilization. This is bottle rocket. So this is the file system. You can see the size for various folders. These are the container, the related folders. Now the network interfaces which are mounted onto this host, you can see ETH0, pod ID, pod network interfaces, here nice, IPAMD related data. So if there are any issue with respect to pod IP getting allocated, so we can see whether there is an issue with respect to getting the IPs from the VPC siders. Similarly, API server related data you are able to see D message, the kernel daemon related messages, and then the system D process itself and container D running at so and so port. So kubelet is running, status of that process and kubelet logs. Similarly, some of the container D logs. So all of that data you will get it within this file. Okay, so this is one option for any debugging purpose. Please note that we cannot log into the node using either SSM or SSH. It's not possible because it's completely a managed EC2 instance. Okay, so that is one option. Second option is you can use the node monitoring agent detection also, because there is a node monitoring running on the node. So you can run the get nodes and get some data about that nodes. So let me just run this command. So this is the status of the nodes: memory pressure, disk pressure, bit pressure, readiness, network ready, all of that data you will get it, okay, using this command. So if you want to describe a specific node using the standard Kubernetes describe node command, so you can do that as well. It will give you all the data related to the node, the labels, how many pods are running, how many IPs are available, how many pods can run on this, and what is the CPU memory utilization allocatable. All of that you can see, how much of memory, CPU utilization, the events. So that is all the data you can see. Similarly, you can use the kubectl get events. So we saw this earlier also. So that provides lot of data with respect to various activities, any pods pending state, the node pull activity, node claim getting created, the state changes, all of that you can see using the Kubernetes get events. And we can also see the node claim, which are the objects managed by Carpenter to create the EC2 instances or the worker nodes in the cloud. So for example, I can just take one of the node claim and I can get some data about it using the get node claim minus -o YAML. It will give you all the data. So you can see the status, how much allocatable capacity, conditions, and how many instance types are available for this node pool activity. So all of that data you can see in the node claim object. So apart from that, we can also get events by filtering certain data, because you do not want to get the events for everything. So instead you can filter also. So here I'm just using the field selector and some component I'm using node monitoring agent. So looks like there are no uh, events here. So let me select other events which is for the node. So let us run this command to get events for a object of type node. Okay, so we see the events for all the node related objects. Okay, so this is one, but in case if you wanted to get data for a specific node, you can filter using the object dot name. So for this particular node you can see the events. Okay, then we can also see other options. Okay, so for example, if you want to retrieve the node logs on the EKS auto node, then you can use this option. For example, you can create an S3 bucket and then create a pre-signed S3 URL and run this custom CRD to get all the data. Okay, so I've already created this bucket. Okay, so this S3 bucket I've created, Amazon EKS auto node logs in EKS 1. Now let me run this command to create a pre-signed URL. Okay, so this is the pre-signed URL using which we will be uploading the logs. Okay, now this is the object. So here I have to mention the URL name. Okay, this is a destination where all the node logs will be shipped. Okay, so I have run that just now. So let me run that again. So it is running. Now I can see the status of this object also, just to check whether this particular object is properly created or not. Okay, so if I do the describe on this node diagnostic CRD, you will see that it is completed successfully. Okay, the logs are shipped. Now how do I know? So we have to run this command. So I'm just copying these logs from the S3 to my local PC terminal. Okay, so the logs are downloaded. Now let us see what does it contain. Okay, so this is my node log star.gz file. So let me first go to this folder, and within that let me extract this one, and you will see the node logs. Okay, if I come back here, the node logs folder, you can see so many folders, right? Bottle rocket, the host related configuration, for example, the AP client, the versions, the AP client binaries, API server, audit, so many details about various binaries running, and CNI, and this is the configuration, and this is the log for the CNI. Containerity also you can see the configuration and images related, and namespaces, plugins. So all the related data about the containerity, IPAM configuration, the metrics information, and the kernel related dmessage, .current. You can also look at the kubelet configuration and the kubelet logs. So this is very useful tool if you wanted to send this to support team for any troubleshooting purposes. So all the data available here. So you don't need to really log into the node, because everything is available through this itself, right? So similarly, if you want to go for the storage and sysctls and system, varlag, every possible data is available, right? So that way you can just use this particular CRD to get all the logs. So this is a CSA provisioner, APS plugin, liveness pro, so all the pods running on that, so you can see that. So this is how you'll be able to extract the logs from the node in EKS auto mode using this. Okay, and so just to summarize, so you have an option to directly get the console logs from the EC2 API. You can look at the Kubernetes events, get typical get events and filter with various options. The third option is basically to extract every possible log from the worker node to the S3 bucket. Okay.